I bet it's your boy Shawn, aka ShawnShawn Nyc. We back with a brand new video. Today's video, we got a reaction video. Teen killer forced to tell his mom about his crimes. We got to see what that's about. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, or turn on that post notification.
Is she okay?
Do you see where she's hit at?
No, it's on the side of her head. They're saying she's pregnant too. Take a deep breath.
This woman was just informed that her daughter, Tiara Harris, was shot in a gang-related incident and is in critical condition.
They just were shooting, and the blood just started dripping from her head. Like, she in the ambulance. Like, I can't even talk right now, bro.
Her boyfriend rushed her to the hospital, but sadly, it was already too late.
Damn.
And the worst part, Tiara had nothing to do with the shootout. She was an innocent bystander. A simple mix-up left an innocent, pregnant mother of two dead, her children now motherless, and her family absolutely
They shitted bad. Niggas got no aim. Like, y'all niggas need target practice.
heartbroken. The police now face a grueling investigation. However, with everyone involved supposedly being gang members, catching the killers would prove to be much harder than anything they'd done before. We've been in touch with Yolanda, the mother featured in this video, and are proud to share that half of the video's profits will be donated to the Akron-based charity First Glance Student Center. At 7:29 p.m. on April 14th, Akron Police Department would receive multiple calls reporting dozens of gunshots being fired out of 1492 Rockaway Street. Witnesses would describe what seemed like a gang-related shooting with multiple cars speeding away from the scene, one being a silver four-door Chevy. Police managed to quickly track down the Chevy, following it as the driver sped across back roads in Akron.
It was pushing.
However, the Chevy wasn't actually running from the cops. It instead would pull over somewhere that concerned the cops even more. The hospital.
There's someone in the car still.
Hey, hold up.
Oh, they shot her brother to the hospital? Could've
Go ahead
murdered.
and shut the car off. Shut the car off. Shut the car off here. Go ahead and put your hands on top of your head, alright?
Oh, yeah.
Hands up,
going
nope.
down.
Hands on top of your head.
Yeah.
Step out. Step out.
Don't even say nothing.
Alright, man. Here, step back here to the back of the car.
Yeah.
Go ahead and put your hands behind your back.
With the incident being reported as a gang-related shootout, police would assume the man driving the Chevy
That's the face of, you know, you about to get fucked. It's over. It's over, gang.
be a gang member, meaning he would be very unlikely to talk to them. So instead, they decide to stop him in the back of a patrol car for later interrogation. As this was going on, dozens of additional 911 calls would ring in, witnesses would arrive at the Akron Police Department to give their testimonies, and more cars would arrive at the hospital. Most importantly though, 4 miles away, a young woman would be placed in an ambulance under critical condition with a bullet wound to her head. Turns out all of this would be connected to a large group of reckless shooters. It's at this point that we need to step in. This is one of the most complex and mysterious cases we've ever covered, so we need to break down some details first in order for you to fully understand the case itself and how well the police handled every single step of solving it. At 7:22 p.m., a car arrived at 1492 Rockaway Street carrying a number of people who started hanging out with some friends on the side of the road. This group included Javier Small, Lanier Worthy, and Jonte Smith. Everything seemed fine until 7:29 p.m., a black vehicle reversed into the street carrying Tiara Harris and her boyfriend George. Her boyfriend recognized some of the people on the sidewalk and wanted to back up and say hi to them. At that very moment, on the other end of the street, 3 men emerged from an unrelated vehicle and started firing bullets.
Oh, nah, they started tossing. Oh.
These men were Zaire Saunders, 17-year-old Antonio Whitaker, and Darion Rackley, all affiliated with the gang BBM, a notoriously violent gang active in Akron at the time. There was also the driver of the car, Jeremiah Tiana Williams. Their shots scattered the group on the sidewalk, with everyone running for cover. In the panic, Jonte and Javier drew their guns and began to shoot back. Bullets went back and forth, and everyone went into a panic as they realized their lives were at risk and a bullet could strike them at any moment. Seconds later, the dust settled, and the BBM members Zaire, Antonil, and Darion fled the scene. However, a grueling silence would ring throughout the street as Tiara's boyfriend, George, realized Tiara was the sole victim of the shooting. With BBM splitting up and running in different directions, George flooring it to the hospital, and everyone on the sidewalk either different directions.
That's why she got head tapped. Look how they shooting.
With BBM splitting up and running in different directions, George flooring it to the hospital, and everyone on the sidewalk either heading inside or preparing to head to the hospital too, cops would begin the grueling task of figuring out what just happened and who ultimately was the one that fired the killing shot. Now that you understand exactly what happened, we can join the police as they try to figure out what just went down and how to solve the developing mystery. Remember that all the cops have received at this point is a phone call alerting them to the shooting and a description of the silver Chevy they've just pulled a gang member from.
There's another victim that's at we don't know where that victim's going to go. There's a possibility that victim may be deceased.
Yeah, they got shot. Okay. Someone's got to go check.
They did bring her to the hospital. Sturdy.
Two of the officers ran over to the front of the hospital and discovered Javier Small and his girlfriend in complete distress.
That ain't her. That's somebody else. She got hit in the leg.
He can't go with you in that room.
Because she got to get checked out. Hang tight.
As it turns out, another girl was also hit in the shooting, that being this man's girlfriend. Luckily, she was only shot in the leg, but he was still extremely distraught and horrified about the whole incident.
I'm on house arrest. I gotta go to the hospital. I gotta go to the house with my girl, bro.
We'll get you. I'll come back. I'll come back. I'll tell you.
I just got in the car. I don't know, bro. My girl just got shot, bro.
Niggas need to talk and practice. Now you got this shit face.
Despite how distraught this guy is, he was a passenger in the Chevy, which they just found multiple firearms inside of.
Yeah.
So police promptly arrested him.
Yeah, you're going down.
We'll take him over here.
Yeah.
Across town, however, there's someone in a much worse position.
Who?
Tiara Harris, the passenger in the black car.
Damn, how she got head tap and didn't even step out the car though, like, ain't she pregnant?
How pregnant is she?
Man.
How far along? 2. Okay. 2 weeks. Maybe 2? Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Nigga said that's not bad. Nigga, hurry up. Talking about that's not bad, nigga. Let me shoot you when you got a baby, nigga. Fuck you talking about it's not that bad, nigga. What?
2 weeks.
Maybe 2?
Yeah. Oh, okay.
It's not that bad. It's not that bad. Head ass. Hurry up, nigga.
Am I allowed to ride in the car with her though to the hospital?
Not right now. I'm sorry, man.
Bro, Yanni just got shot. I mean, T just got shot. Bro, just in the car, just driving down the street. And Kim were driving from over there, and they just was shooting. None of the glass broke, but she wasn't like moving or talking. So I just brought her, and the blood just started dripping from her head.
Damn, she leaned back.
Bro, we see in the hospital.
God damn.
Hold up, she in the ambulance. Like I can't even talk right now, bro.
Tiara was immediately rushed to the local
My bitch get shot, bro. I'm broken. I ain't gonna lie. I'm heartbroken.
hospital, and her boyfriend George was brought in for questioning. He wasn't a lead suspect, but police did find it odd that he just happened to arrive at the site of a violent shooting right as it all went down. He would claim to be innocent and actually provide a detailed description of everything that went down that night.
You turned off here, so
no, boom, no, I didn't. I came this way, and I said, "What y'all got? Like, what y'all got going on over here?" Like, I'm like basically saying, "Y'all good?"
Right.
As soon as I said that, somebody from down here got to just shooting a gun that just kept shooting. That's all I know. But I didn't hear nobody or nothing like that.
So you're right there, and then you heard that. How many shots did you hear?
Man, I can't even recall. It was a lot. And then as soon as I
so you were facing this way?
No.
You literally back.
They trying to 48 that nigga.
In this Rockaway. This would be Rockaway.
Okay.
Down, I backed up.
Oh, so you backed, so the back of your car was facing that way?
Yeah, and I'm like, is y'all, I'm like, what y'all got going on? Like, I look out just like that.
Like out the window?
Like, as soon as I even, like, it should have been me, like, you feel me? Because I'm the one that looked straight out the window.
Yeah, he's a
y'all
dweeb.
all right, y'all
Why
good
he
type
even look out that way? Like, he should have just...
going on, like, I look out just like
he
that.
48
like
his girlfriend.
Like,
if anything...
It should have been me, like, you feel me? Because I'm the one that looked straight out the
That
window.
shit wild,
like,
though.
y'all all right, y'all good type stuff.
The cops asked him why he was even there in the first place, to which he just said he knew a couple of people on the street and that he had absolutely no involvement in the shooting. He's claiming that when he peeked out the window, his friends mistook him for the shooter and began to fire bullet after bullet directly at his vehicle. According to him, it wasn't an accident, but a misunderstanding, making the whole situation even more tragic. With George's statement, they were a little clearer on the whole situation. But they'd made no progress into actually solving the case or tracking down the real perpetrators. That was until they returned to the scene and spoke to a number of witnesses who had watched the entire event take place.
Right.
It was two African Americans. So they run young kids. They come from back there across this backyard next door and out the driveway. He had a face mask on and a 9mm. And then the other one had a semi-automatic rifle, and they were almost to the corner of the house running this way, and they both jumped the fence. Like when the kid in the hoodie jumped the maroon hoodie jumped the fence, he dropped
some big dirty shit.
Rifle at the driveway.
Ready to,
I was just
ready to take the whole city down with that shit.
Some stuff, and all I heard was just a barrage of bullets, fully auto. It wasn't 3-round burst, 4-round. It was fully auto.
That shit was a switchy.
Oh yeah, hot and loud.
They had a switch on that shit.
And then I saw two guys when I was out back. I could see through the backyards, through the fence. I saw a silhouette of two guys running up towards that street, returning single shots as they were running away.
Okay. There's casings up here. Yeah.
I got more.
Okay.
How many did you hear, you think?
I heard it was like 30.
Like where all these cones
Yeah, that was a switch. That was a switch.
Over here all the time.
Where's over there?
Right there, the house right there.
I heard a lot of gunfire, but when I went out, when I first heard it, I thought it was a backfire because I saw this car sitting over here where all the cones are. He had his lights on. So I thought he was working on a car and it backfired real bad. Then I saw them loading people into cars to take them to the hospital, and I knew it wasn't, because this has happened so many times before. I don't know what we're supposed to do. We can't go outside, nothing.
Even with all this new information, though, the cops are only slightly closer to figuring out what happened. They were now at least able to confirm that one group of shooters rolled up and started the exchange before another responded, causing a huge exchange of bullets throughout the neighborhood. But they still had two major questions. Who were the shooters, and how was Tiara involved? Well, the cops had just spotted another witness that might be able to answer their questions. A woman who was actually on the street the moment the bullets started flying.
So you don't live here?
I'm not even from here.
So who owns the house?
Anitra.
She is? Okay.
She was out to eat when I called her.
Okay. Everyone's okay though, right? The kids?
The kids, yes.
Yeah?
The kids are okay. I got them in the back watching.
Ah, man.
There was another girl outside. I think she got shot in the thigh or the leg. I think they took her place in the hospital.
Okay.
She definitely got hit.
Okay. So what did you see?
I'm sitting outside.
Oh, she was
honest,
gone.
Yeah,
she was gone.
We're all tight prayer wrestling, like act like we hitting each other and stuff.
She's up them steps.
Gunshots. I'm like, all right, was that a BB gun? Come through shooting.
She was up them steps. She was out of there.
So I'm running up, I didn't even know where the gunshots came from. I'm running up, trying to grab the kids. They came through twice.
Okay. Did the house get hit at all?
I mean, I don't even. Is that a bullet hole right here? I don't.
Oh, I don't know. I was really just trying to grab the kids. And you said it, so what? They got out. They got out of a car.
They didn't even get out of the car.
Or they just started.
Yeah,
they were hanging out.
They was hanging out shooting.
Did you see how many by chance? Three of them.
Now it's starting to sound a lot more like a drive-by shooting, notoriously one of the hardest types of crimes to solve, especially if the vehicle was stolen. The cops are starting to lose confidence that they'll ever find Tiara's killer, but then they decide to ask one simple question.
Ma'am, do those cameras work? I believe so. Okay. She's on her way home. Oh, she is? Okay, perfect.
There were CCTV cameras on the property, and as soon as the homeowner got back, they'd have access to the footage. So in just a few hours, the cops were able to put together just enough footage to understand exactly what happened. Remember, we already know all of this, but for the police, this was huge. Now they had a detailed timeline of the entire incident, including at what time it went down, how many people were involved, and which vehicles the suspects used. This would be very useful in the coming interrogations in terms of verifying their suspects' claims and pressuring them to confess. Police finally had a solid piece of evidence, and right as their case had started to build some substance, their biggest lead yet would step out right in front of them.
I have video of them carrying the girl that got shot.
I can put it on the SD card.
And that's not the same one that was at
She'll send her a link and then she can just upload it from there.
Right after they took off.
Not only had they seen the entire thing go down, but as soon as they heard gunshots, they started recording. They managed to get this clear footage of a man getting into the same vehicle spotted at the shooting just minutes earlier.
That niggas is crazy.
Now all they needed to do was track down the car using the visible license plate, and they'd have their first lead suspect. But with that said, these kids were no strangers to running from the police, and the officers would begin the hunt to find these evil teens.
I wonder how long it took for them to get caught. This is crazy.
While all of this was going on, police had another, perhaps more nerve-wracking situation to handle. Tiara had passed away, and her family had no idea.
That's wild.
There's currently not letting too many people in the hospital. Let's step over here and see where all these cruises are.
My car, okay?
Where's your car at?
I'm right here because I didn't know.
Or this one?
Right here.
Sorry. Okay. What's your daughter's name? You're here for your daughter?
Tiara Harris.
Tiara Harris. Say, have me stand right here next to the sign. We'll have someone go over to talk to you, okay? Take a deep breath.
Man, son.
Okay.
I don't know the names of who they are currently, miss.
Just listen to the cop's tone here. He knows just how bad things are looking for Tiara, and he absolutely doesn't want to break that news to her mother yet, especially when he sees just how emotional she's starting to get. Tiara's autopsy showed a single bullet struck her in the head and remained there. While tragic, this information would allow police to identify the exact bullet type and then gun used to shoot Tiara. If they could find the owner of this gun, they would be able to match it to the bullet, and justice could be served for Tiara and her family.
That's crazy.
Hey, come here!
They got a bunch of people showing
That's
up.
my son and my nephew.
Okay, well, listen, they can't go in. It's going to be you.
Y'all go in the car. Go in the car.
They telling us to wait outside.
I know. I'm going in. Go in my car.
The entire family is in distress, with her mom shaking and doing everything she can to stay strong in front of her kids. It's truly a nightmare situation, and it only got worse from there. At around 8:30 p.m., they were informed that Tiara didn't make it. A bullet to the back of the head had ended her life, sending her family into complete grief and agony. Now, police knew that they absolutely had to catch the people that did this to Tiara, or risk letting down her and her entire family. At this point, police had 6 different suspects on the run, all tied to the shooting, and they would eventually manage to track down and get interrogations with all of them.
Oh yeah.
Their start came in the form of a Facebook post.
Interrogation time.
By someone named Jeremiah Williams, described as a member of the BBM gang. Apparently, the post consisted of him bragging about being at the shooting and escaping without getting caught. By using his Facebook profile, they'd find his address and pick him up for interrogation. With Jeremiah also being a supposed gang member, he too would prove to be extremely difficult to break. However, by using expert methods, police would actually get him to break completely, to the point where he actually started to cry.
Don't cry now.
You want some tissue?
Yeah, don't cry now.
Yeah, that's true. How's it going, Jeremiah? Pretty good. Sorry for the wait, man. I'm Detective Smith. This is Detective Davis.
Sean, you got stretch right here?
Mm-hmm.
I'll take it. And Sean, you got that one.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Sean. Good. Oh, sorry.
It's
Sorry.
okay. It's okay.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, all right.
Nice to meet you. Alright, and so the reason why we have you sitting here talking to us is we need you to think back to April. There's an incident that happened on Rockaway. You remember this? This young lady got shot. Remember hearing about that? Okay, so during our investigation, your name's been coming up. But do you know about where you were that day, if you can? Or
I was definitely at home.
Apparently, Jeremiah also has an alibi, and even gives multiple names over that'll attest he wasn't on Rockaway that night.
You're at home. Yeah. Where was that at Amherst?
Amherst. This was right before my mom moved to Louisiana.
Okay.
My best friend Rob talked to her sister, the girl that died. Her sister Diane or however you say her name. My best friend Rob was like in the kind of little
like dating.
Yeah, with her sister. And it was crazy. We got on Facebook and it was all over Facebook. Her sister had got killed and stuff. And my mom was like, ain't that the girl that came over here the other day? And we like, no, that was her little sister.
Has her little sister reached out to you guys or anything?
We haven't talked to her, I don't talk to her at all for real, but.
So you were at your house on Amherst?
Yeah.
Was there anyone with you that day?
My mom.
What's your mom?
This shit not making sense.
However, the detectives know this to be untrue. They know he was at the scene from the Facebook post he made. They know he did it, so they want to get a confession. Or even better, some information that might help put more people in handcuffs. The thing is, they're initially going to find that a lot harder than they'd hope.
I have to ask, do you recognize this car?
Yeah, this was the car that was in that video. That's on Facebook.
So you remember it? Have you ever been in this car?
No.
Do you know who drives this car or owns this car?
I don't know him by like name, but I know who he is. His name like Pa or something.
Pa?
That's what they call it.
Do you know, can you describe him?
That's funny because I don't even really know what he looks like. Like every time I've seen him with a ski mask on.
Okay.
Like I've never seen him outside of a ski mask.
Okay. All right. Tell me a little bit about yourself, your past. Like, have you ever been in trouble or anything?
Yeah. I'm actually right now. I got probation.
So like just a weapons possession charge is all you got?
It's like carrying a concealed firearm in a motor vehicle.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Jeremiah is making a conscious attempt to give as little information over as possible while still trying to seem cooperative. He's smart. He doesn't want to completely close himself off, as that'll make him seem guilty, but he also doesn't want to give up any vital information. The cops ask him who was there, where he was sitting in the car, even questions about the guns, but he refuses to speak, and he's starting to seriously frustrate the cops. But all this talk of courts and investigations doesn't seem to be getting them anywhere at all. So instead, they switch gears. They're going to be as direct as possible and give it to him straight.
We know you were there.
That's their last hope at getting him to crack.
What do your friends call you? Do you have a nickname or anything?
Jay.
We're just getting to know you, man.
Right.
Obviously, we can see that you're not a bad person. Just
that's
the
how they
vibes
get
I'm
you.
getting.
They about to reel him in. Here we go.
But you're in here talking to us.
Here we go.
For a reason. And it comes back down to this incident. You being honest with us is what we'll be able to work with you. We know that you were there. And we also got your DNA in this car.
If I've been in that car, I would tell you guys I've been in that car. I don't have no reason to lie or no reason to put myself in any trouble.
Your role in it is the driver.
This nigga's crazy.
Really what we're looking for is why.
Yeah.
You're already being charged with the incident. You explaining your actions and what really went down is only...
Now Taxes is getting the TurboTax app.
It's getting real.
And filing your taxes yourself 100%.
Just going to help with your role in this.
Right.
We know you didn't pull the trigger, but
right.
you not being honest with what went down is not going to help you. It's going to, the prosecutor and the judge and jury are going to look at someone who's not remorseful.
Drove over there and they started shooting.
So they told you to drive over to Rockaway?
Yeah.
Who was sitting where in the car?
In the front, and Zebo sitting behind me, and then I was sitting on the door.
Oh shit.
It worked. The cops actually got a name. It was a nickname, but cops could eventually tie this back to a man named Zaire Saunders, who would be interrogated later. This was huge. They'd actually gotten a gangster to tell on one of his partners. But they weren't done yet. They knew he still had more information, and they weren't going to stop putting on the pressure now.
Damn.
We got to go back to who was in the car with you. I know you know Zebo. Pa, you say you just know him by Pa. Do you know his real name? Okay. And the third person, you're saying how often have you seen him? Would you be able to identify that last person by a picture?
Jeremiah physically looks defeated. He's avoiding eye contact and is hunched over.
Yeah,
he likely never saw himself giving up the names of his partners, but that's exactly where he found himself. The cops, however, are over the moon, even managing to get descriptions of the people he doesn't know the names of. They ask a few more questions before leaving him alone for a minute to prepare their next move. However, on their return, they didn't expect to see Jeremiah, a once tough and unbreakable gang member, to cry because of what he'd done.
Don't cry now, nigga.
And his first name was what?
Darian.
God damn.
You want some tissue, man?
You want some tissue? Nah, nigga said, you want some tissue? He said, is this him? Do you want some tissue?
First name is what?
Darian.
Is this him?
Is this him?
You want some tissue, man? I need a verbal yes or no. That's it.
Yeah.
So let me get tissue.
I'll start crying now. Don't be like him. Please don't be like him.
If this is the first time you've seen a gang member cry, you're certainly not alone. But it actually happened again in the detective's very next interrogation.
Oh, man.
While these cops were busy talking to Jeremiah, a breakthrough had been made outside of the interrogation room. Remember this footage recorded by a civilian witness earlier? Well, after 5 days of investigation, they actually managed to track the car down, enabling them to take in another suspect, Antonil Whitaker. Police would quickly realize that Antonil might be even more important than Jeremiah as a suspect. He's a supposed member of the BBM gang, and believed to be one of the suspects that initiated the supposed...
This nigga look like... He looked like... what's that, the wrestler name? Not Booker T. He looked like... Oh, man. That nigga look like, what the fuck is his name? R-Truth? Is that the nigga name? Is it R-Truth? Nah, I gotta look it up. Is it R-Truth? Nigga look like R-Truth. Nah, son. Defeated.
Member of the BBM gang, and believed to be one of the suspects that initiated the shootout. The thing is, he's just 17 years old.
Oh yeah. Since they gave that nigga snacks,
he about.
They gave him snacks. He about to tell.
Thing is, he's just 17 years old.
Damn.
Since there's still some information even Jeremiah couldn't give them, they figured they might be able to scare him into giving up everything he knows. And their first idea is an unconventional but possibly extremely effective method: a call home to mom.
Oh shit. Yup.
Hello, Ma. This is really, really serious now. You need to put yourself wherever you was and get to telling with your part as much as you can, because you can't take the blame for this, and this was not you. You shouldn't be sitting there. They know it's your car. You can't get out of that.
Oh, they use your car to spin? Yeah. Dickhead.
Antonil doesn't even seem to feel like following his mother's advice. Despite the fact that they know it was his car, he's claiming that someone else was actually driving it that day. And even more unfortunately, he'd forgotten exactly who. Listen to his story and see if you believe it as much as the detectives do.
Right.
So you saying you were at home? No, wait. Like the whole day? Someone took your car somehow, brought your car back, gave you the keys back or whatever, and then so you could take your sister home. That doesn't make sense, man.
Right.
You know a jury, you know a judge. They're not. I'll be honest with you. I mean, what you're giving is not even a good statement. It's not even a good lie. That's why it'd probably be easier for you to tell the truth.
You see, about an hour after the shooting, Antonil was confirmed to have used his car to pick his sister up from an event, meaning it was clear that he was still in possession of it. But that didn't faze
this nigga is a clown.
Antonil, and despite how many questions police asked him, he refused to give up anything.
How this works, you might already know this from TV.
Everybody be asking me, man, does the mutual actually work? Bro, you get a month.
But I mean, it's kind of accurate. We're going to compare your DNA to the DNA on the shell casings that we collected on scene. Is there any reason your DNA is going to be on there? Because if there is, you've got to explain that. You said no, or I don't know?
I said no.
Who got in the car with you at all these? If you're saying your DNA is not going to be on those shell casings, right? And you're saying you weren't driving, who did you let drive your car? Believe it.
I don't know.
But right now it looks like it's on you.
They're trying to force a confession out of him by telling him that if he'd been in physical contact with any of the evidence tied to the murder, they would find out and he would get sentenced. And they're not lying either. When you touch anything at all, you leave behind skin cells, sweat, small hairs, or even oils that can quickly be traced back to you. Meaning, if Antonil had touched the car, the bullets when loading his gun, or anything else related to the murder, police would find out. However, as of now, detectives haven't had the time to run these tests to confirm if his DNA was present, meaning they couldn't pressure him to a confession, and they'd have to wait until later. So in the meantime, they move their attention to the next suspect. Remember the man Jeremiah gave up to the cops back in his interrogation? That was Zaire Saunders. Once they had his name, they tracked him down and arrested him. And he would prove to be even more helpful than Antonil and Jeremiah combined.
Is he the shooter?
Did you know or hear about that young lady who got killed?
Yeah.
Did you know her?
No.
We don't
got
think
dogs
that
out.
She was the one met.
That nigga comfortable, bro. Got dogs out and all.
Be heard, and I mean based on what we're seeing, but unfortunately she did get obviously hurt. Her family's hurt. Right. You know, when we did that search warrant, we got your phone.
Yes.
Okay. And we downloaded your phone. And your location is putting you on Rockaway that day. Nope.
Nigga said no bullshit.
What happened that day, man?
I shot a pistol. You shot a pistol? Yes.
This seems like a breakthrough. He's just admitted to being a part of the shooting, and
that's a real nigga right there.
Seems that all the detectives' work has just paid off. But they're not quite there yet. Of the 3 shooters, 2 did indeed use pistols, but one of them was actually yielding the extremely dangerous automatic rifle that can be seen clear as day in this footage here. Instead of jumping this fence after the shooting, the man with the rifle fled directly down Rockaway Street, and that's the direction Zaire's phone shows him running. The good news is, that clears Zaire of being the man that killed Tiara. After all, she was killed with a very specific pistol round.
Oh, shit.
But that does put him directly in the spotlight of being the man with the most dangerous weapon, and one that is directly lying to the cops right now. And they're not about to let him get away with that.
We have video of the incident. You're on camera shooting a rifle.
Is it a pistol that holds, 2 rifle rounds?
Like, I mean, it ain't just. It is big.
Does it have a stock on it? Like something kind of modified type thing?
No, it didn't have a stock on it. So describe it then. I mean, it is a rifle.
That single piece of information resulted in Zaire actually getting the highest sentence out of anybody involved in the case. Just the use of such a dangerous firearm actually increased his prison time by somewhere between 10 and 15 years.
God.
But he still doesn't know that yet. He's still under the guise that if he helps the detectives out, he might get a better deal. So not only did he tell them where to find the rifle he used, he also gave up one of the most vital pieces of information the cops had received in the entire case.
The group BBM. I just know they call it BBM. For real. BBM. Yeah.
Zaire just told the cops the name of the gang that was involved. A huge piece of information that will help them track down every last individual that was part of this attack. Now the detectives have just one more final question that'll hopefully put together the final pieces of the puzzle they're looking for.
You've been extremely helpful throughout this whole interview. You helping yourself out too. You gotta ask, whose idea was it?
I know for sure it wasn't mine. They just around, so we'll just say yours, my dudes. But you got different dudes, and you got different, like that's how they is.
Well, they didn't say it right then and there. They said it on Facebook, like. But they was like, I knew they were talking about me. They just didn't say it directly to me, but I knew they was talking about me.
He just gave up the group chat where all of these shootings supposedly were planned.
Yeah, that nigga
With
talking
this,
too
police simply
much.
had to cross-reference the names in the group chat with the supposed shooters on the CCTV, and the names that had been mentioned in previous interrogations, giving them enough evidence to sentence all 6 of the shooters. But unfortunately, this was...
Is she texting someone behind your back? A single Spokio search can help you find out who she's messaging.
Wasn't the resolution they'd hoped for. After examining all the weapons confiscated, it would turn out that none of them were a match to the bullet found in Tiara's head, meaning they still couldn't tie any specific person to the actual
Where's
murder.
the other 2
However,
shooters?
there is one puzzle piece we haven't told you about yet. The one that would solve this entire case. Watching the CCTV footage, it's clear that there is one man that directly shot at Tiara's vehicle. If you follow this man, dressed in all black, back through the CCTV, you can trace him all the way back to the driver's seat of this black truck.
That's a smooth
black
criminal
truck
right
that,
there.
until now, the cops were completely unable to identify. But then, they received one final piece of footage from a witness, allowing them to track it back to the owner, 44-year-old mother, Kia Brown. Police realized they had to interview her, knowing that whoever was driving Kia's black truck that day killed Tiara Harris.
Sheesh.
Hey, how you doing, ma'am?
How are you?
Good. I'm Detective Smith. This is Detective Davis, back in police.
Hi.
Hey, we wanted to talk to you or whoever is driving, who drives this truck, reference that incident that happened up the street. They were being shot at. And we're finally trying to catch up with them. Looked like a couple males. And have you heard about this?
I heard about what happened on the corner. This is my truck, but my son was driving.
It wasn't Kia, but her son driving the car that night. And after running his name, they'd find out he had ties to a rival gang of BBM. So the detectives had Kia call her son and hand over the phone to the officers.
I have some detectives here right now. The day that we were moving in, the incident that happened around the corner, they would like to speak with you. Do you have a moment? Can you go on break?
How you doing, man?
How you doing?
Good. I'm Detective Smith. I'm with Detective Davis with me. Hey, what's your name before we get started, bud? Linear. All right, Linear. How you doing, man? So listen, man, I won't keep too much of your time. We were wondering if we could talk with you and your mom maybe in person at some point, and we wanted to talk to you about that incident that happened up the street. We know you're over there, so we were hoping you could help us, actually. You're not in any trouble. We're actually hoping you could help us.
That's how they get you. Where is it? You're not in any trouble. We're actually hoping you could help us. Right.
Would there be a good day for you to... Yeah, Sunday the 8th. Can we do it anytime after 2:30? Okay.
Anytime after 2:30.
All right, man. We appreciate it. We'll see you at 3:30. Okay. All right, buddy. Bye.
And just like that, they had an interview scheduled, and this was the final suspect at the scene that they hadn't yet spoken to. The man suspected to be the driver of the black truck and the man they think shot Tiara.
Dad, how you doing? What's up, man? Appreciate you talking with us. So, I mean, obviously, you know why we're here, about that incident that happened up the street. So, we just wanted to know your perspective. That happened that day. What did you see? That type of stuff. You can run us through that day?
I was standing in the driveway on my phone. Then heard shots. I got down, ducked. Then when the shots stopped, I heard that, ran to the car.
When the shots started happening, you ran and got in the driver's seat, and then Teen got in your passenger seat. Right? Okay.
That was it. Lanier had just told them he was driving the black truck that day, confirming he was the man in all black that drove the truck and hopped in the Chevy. He was the man that fired the bullets.
Got him.
So they decided to ask him up front.
I'm about to ask you something, man. I'm about to ask you from your parents. I'm sorry, but I gotta ask. Did you shoot that day? Okay.
Nigga said no?
Even though he said no, police already had all the evidence they needed. The car tied to him, his ties to the rival gang, and finally the video of him shooting at Tiara's car. So they arrested him on the spot and brought him in for interrogation.
What's up, man? You here? He coming.
Am I able to have a lawyer with me right now?
What's that?
Can I have a lawyer with me?
You can do whatever you want, man. I'm not here to... Okay. Are you saying you want your lawyer? You don't want to talk?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
But in the end, this wouldn't matter, as when they arrested and processed him, they managed to confiscate his gun. And after analyzing the forensics of the bullet inside of Tiara and Lanier's gun, it was a match. Lanier had fired the killing shot.
Damn.
After 5 months of investigation, all the puzzle pieces were finally in place. In total, 7 people were charged in this incident. Zaire Saunders was charged with involuntary manslaughter and 4 counts of felonious assault and was sentenced to 35 to 40 years. Antneil Whitaker and Jeremiah Williams got 20 to 24 years on similar charges, while the 4th assailant in this group, Darion Rackley, got 34 to 40 years. It was confirmed Antneil's DNA was in fact found on various bullet casings on Rockaway Street, despite his claims in the interrogation room. The next 2 to be sentenced were the ones who shot back at Zaire's group after being rolled up on. They were Javier Small and Jonte Smith, who were sentenced to 4 years and 2.5 years respectively. Lastly was Lanier Worthy, Tiara's actual killer. However, as of this video's upload, he's still awaiting sentencing. Tiara and George were not involved in any of the gangs in the shootout and were found completely innocent. At long last, Tiara and her family could finally be at peace.
Damn.